Hi there, welcome to Crafty Shenanigans. I'm Shannon Smith, and today I thought it would be fun to show you how to do two different cards. They're very similar, but one is a little more complicated than the other, so you can kind of step it up a little bit, or you can go a little bit more simple with the other one. But both of them are going to use some dye ink refill, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use that. So let's just jump in and get started. Okay, so to start out, I'm using, this is called a gel press. You may be familiar with these. If not, it's just a really fun tool to use. And I enjoy using this with all kinds of different mediums. But today, what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using sugar drops. These are from RG Studio 360. And they actually are the ink that goes in the pads, but you can use them several different ways. I really like the eyedropper on them. That makes them really fun to use and just simple, a little less messy. So we are going to start by making a background for our cards. And I am, as I said before, I am going to be doing 2 different cards. So what I'm going to do, I just took a piece, this is just watercolor paper, and this is not your most expensive. This is the pad it came from. Master's Touch. It's something you find at Hobby Lobby. Excuse my dog in the background. He's kind of got the crazies, so he's probably heard his little tags. He is my crafting companion. He just figured out where I am in the house, and so he has come to join me. Okay, so this is Tangy gum. It is a dye ink, and I'm just going to use a few drops of this. I think maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to take my brayer and I am just going to spread that around. Get that all inked up. And then I think what I will try and do is I'm just going to take a piece of watercolor paper and I am going to just dampen that a little bit. And then I might just do a very fine mist. Don't want it really wet, but just a little bit. And then I'm just going to lay that across my gel press. And let's see what fun we have. So there, we have a fun kind of watery background, which is exactly what I want. And I like the variation of the color. And we're just going to let that dry. I do have one that I've already dried. And just know, when you use the gel press, it's so much fun, but you do have to know pretty much it's going to be different every time you do it. It's pretty hard to get it to look exactly the same from one pull to the next. So we will just go with this, and I will show you the one that I already made earlier. So you can see it's just, like I said, it's different every time. So let's go on to the next step. Okay, so for this next part, I will tell you that on this background, I am using the same background technique for both of the cards that I'll be showing you. And I am going to use the Koi Dance stamp set. And we're just going to use both of these fish. It was nice I could stamp them at the same time, but I am going to show you 2 different ways that you can do them. The first way I will show you, I'm actually not going to demonstrate one of the ways, but I will show you a different look for how it turns out. If you are not huge into coloring, this is a great fun way that you can get some color on there without having to take the time to do all the coloring. And I'm just going to again use the sugar drops, and I am going to use a mix of rich tangerine, tangy orange, and sour pineapple. And I'm just going to put a few drops of each of those. It doesn't really take very much, and I'm still getting used to them, so I am probably using more than I need to. All right. And then pineapple. Okay. So now I'm again taking my brayer, which I have cleaned off, and I'm just going to mix that color around. And really, I'm just going to be using this little guy, so it doesn't have to be all over the gel press, depending on how many you're doing. And now I'm going to take my mister again, and I'm just going to break up that color a little bit more. And I like the beadiness on that. I will not dampen this paper, however. So I'm just going to lay that in there. And let's pull it up and see what we've got. All right, so that one actually it's a little bit more smoothed out than I wanted. So we'll just do it again. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the tangerine because I just wanted a little bit more texture with that. I wanted that darkest orange. So now I'm going to let it bead up a little bit more. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. So depending on how much water will be how defined your little beads are. The other one that I'm going to show you, I didn't use as much water, and so you will see that it's not as, the color isn't spread out as much. And you can kind of decide how you like it best, but I will show you both ways. So now I'm just going to fussy cut around the edges of this, and I will likely, okay, so now I'm just going to fussy cut around this, and I'll likely speed this part of the video up.
Once I got my little fish fussy cut, I felt like it needed some sort of a little plant or something to go with it. So Darren helped me to create something on to use through my Cricut to go ahead and we just designed some little plants and cut those out to go on the cards.
So for this next part, I just, you saw me cutting out the little seaweed and different things from different plants from under the sea. Anyway, I'm going to use sugar drops again, and this time I am going to show you, I just used like 5 drops of this, and I used it in this little sprayer, this little mister bottle, and so I just only had it to full just about halfway, and then I put 5 drops of this in there, and I'm going to use that to color my plant. I kind of wanted to keep that watery, kind of watered down feel to the card, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you. And this does go on the other card, like I said. This isn't for the first one. Now I could leave that like that and let it kind of dry how it is, or I can just keep layering the color. Okay, so now I've cut a card base. And we'll just go ahead and hold that. And then I have my mat. I've got my piece that, if you look, I've got this, and this from the other card were all done with the sugar drops, 3 different ways. The spray bottle, the kind of spotty technique, this one where I wet the watercolor paper first. So I did want to point that out. But anyway, let's go ahead and assemble this. Okay, so you can see I've assembled my card base. I've got a mat there. I've got our panel with our background on it. And I'm just going to take my little piece of coral. And I'm just going to lay that. Just kind of anchor everything down a little bit. And now I've got a little piece. I've went ahead and I heat embossed the "You Are Special" on there on a little piece of vellum. And I'm going to use, oh, and I've got a little bit, got a glue dot on the back of my coral. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that down first. Think of it right there. And kind of wanted it to line up. I think I've got it about right. And now I'm going to take another dot and put it on the very tip of my fish's nose. And that is so that I can place it on the sentiment. Because my sentiment, because it's on vellum, I've got to put adhesive where it won't show. Now I think it needs just a little something more, so we're going to add, I've got these cute little bubbles. They're from Queen & Company, and they are just perfect for little sea scenes like this. I love them. So I'm going to just go ahead and add a few here and there. And I think we've got it. I think I actually may have liked my coral up a little higher, but I think it's okay. So I'll show you the other one that I made. You can see the difference in the pattern. I think on this one I used less water and less ink both, and it made it more spotty, and I kind of like that, but I think this is fun too. So it just depends on your preference. And you can see the backgrounds are going to be different every time too, but just fun to play with and so simple. This was really easy. And then if you want to kick it up a notch, you remember that we went ahead and we used our sugar drops on this. And so what I did on this one is I actually used Copic markers on the fish. So if you love to color, that's something that you can do, and you can get that much more dimension out of it and fun out of that. And this right here is a fun paste. This is BoBunny makes this. I don't know if they still make it, but because I've had it for a while, but it is stencil paste, and it's got this fun shimmer in it. You can see the shimmer inside of the jar. Really fun. I just put a little smear of that down at the bottom to kind of anchor that fish. So really fun, really simple. This one took quite a bit longer because I did do the Copic coloring. But this one, for how fast it was, I think they both are fun. Well, I hope that you have some new fun ideas and different ways that you can use your ink refills. And I hope that maybe you will share your creations with me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I would love to see some comments. And please share this with your friends. Thanks so much.